nail something down here, accountability is a psychological state. It resides between their two ears. Usually when something is highly written about, it means we just don't quite have it down yet. Now, where it becomes visible, accountability, is in some of these moments of execution, okay? That list that's up on the board in front of you. So these are really small moments where our communications between leader and rep, okay, result in either that excuse making or that accountability taking, okay? Now, when business is smooth, of course, accountability often seems natural, right? That's when we're getting results. We might not even be paying attention to the inputs around accountability that got us to those results. Now, when pressure rises, and probably two reasons for that, either numbers are tight, right? Or like this particular area, we are really after it. We've got high expectations and we're in growth mode. That is where this accountability paradox can get triggered, okay, resulting in those seller excuses, okay? So simply put, what's occurred in this moment of execution where the pipeline's light, as an example, is accountability is really shifted from the person to the needs of the business through our emotional state, okay? And what I might suggest is when that happens, what we've triggered is the mini accountability paradox, I'll call it, okay? Now, there's nothing wrong with all of us wanting the number. That is part of the job. Please don't misunderstand. But I think when us as leaders, when we become more attached to the business number than the person's psychological state of high accountability, well, the accountability seesaw shifts. It shifts towards the business, right? It shifts towards the business, okay? And where that leaves the person is often feeling disengaged because it's suddenly about the business versus their accountability. It can leave them feeling a bit confused. Even though we trust our reps, we trust our sellers, it can leave them feeling a little bit distrusted. There's lots written about trust. Smart people like Buffett would say, in these moments of pressure or execution, we need to be very careful about not breaking trust. If you do any research on accountability, what you'll find is the root of high accountability organizations is high trust amongst that group of adults. And most of us aspire to that, right? Because those organizations do great things. Covey, he would go a step further. He would say trust changes everything. So as leaders, we've got to be extremely agile at building and maintaining long-term trust over time to gain that high accountability result that we're looking for. Now, this does not mean that we stop managing or supervising, coaching, or training. Okay, those are like familiar things to us. I think what I'm suggesting here is we got to make small hinges off what we know already, some of those 4 things where we make just shifts to our communication and our business patterns to breed or foster that high ownership psychological state. In other words, accountability.